So, the Canon Sl2, is it really worth it in the year of 2024, going on 2025? Let's talk about that. So this is the Canon Sl2, and you guys can probably see that I've had it since December 2017. So I've had this camera for a really, really long time. It has a Digic 7 image processor, which creates, you know, sharp, vivid images. And it's got an ISO up to 25600. And then sensitivities up to 51200. Video shooting has full HD 1080p recording, up to 60 frames per second, so it can do slow-mo. This can also do time lapses as well in video form. And then it can shoot continuously up to 5 frames per second. And obviously it has a 9-point autofocus system, which it tracks very good, I will say. I haven't had really any issues with it. It is a 24.2 megapixel resolution. It's got Bluetooth Wi-Fi. You know, it could do video, it's crop sensor, and there's a built-in flash as well. So this has a lot of weapons to it. And when I was back in 2017 in starting my YouTube journey, this was the one camera that I wanted because it had a flip out screen and it was cheaper than the Canon 70D. And honestly, I'm glad that I went with this camera instead of the 70D. Mostly because it was cheaper and you don't get much more on the 70D than this one. So truthfully, I think this is a boss camera. And here's why. I have used this camera for 8 years. And it sounds so long ago when I you know, it's then I got this, but this truly was my camera that I used to baby. I would take it out and shoot with it occasionally, and then I would film all my like cool like microfilms and stuff on it. But this was the camera that really started it for YouTube for me. This was my little baby. This was my Canon 70D. I didn't have enough money or to get the 70D at the time, so I got this as a Christmas present. I forget how much these go to, but there's a mirror in there. It's not mirrorless, but I will say the flip out screen is super, super nice. And also I wanted a camera that had a microphone jack to it, if you guys can see that, because I needed the audio for video recording. Is it worth it today in 2024? Well, here's some footage that I shot with it in 2024. So as you can see, it's pretty crispy footage. I started the vlog with this camera, and then I got the camera that I'm shooting with right now, which kind of replaced the means for this. So I love this camera. It has everything I need. It has time-lapse video mode right here, and it's got all of these settings for that, and you can do everything on this. Literally, it's amazing, and I'll show you. So these cameras used go for $430 on Amazon. There's one that's like $200. There's a SL3. I don't think that they make the SL2 anymore. I think it's just the SL3, which is now $600. But you can find them on eBay and stuff and get them for like almost $500, about, I would say, $430, which you can, it comes with the 10 to 55 millimeter lens. So obviously they still have them on Amazon, which still is a lot of money. I will say, so I slapped a 17 to 55 lens on here. There's somebody vacuuming right now. But I will say that it is very crispy, it is very sharp, and I think the image quality that you get out of this is quite superior. I feel like if you're starting out and you want a, you know, bigger camera, you want a DSLR body so you can have the interchangeable lenses, and you want the flip out screen with the audio, and you're starting, I would say get this camera. It lasts a long time. Obviously, it's still in pristine condition, as you guys can see. Like, it is, there's nothing wrong with it. There's not a scrape or scratch on here. Even in the bottom, the base plate is completely fine. So these cameras are very durable. They last a long time. Obviously, this lasted me 8 years. I am selling it on my Poshmark, which is in my description. So if you want to go check it out, you can get this exact camera. But it is in pristine condition because I mostly kept it that way. You know, it's all on how you treat your cameras. But I will say a 24.2 megapixel camera in 2024 is still very, very good, and you will get that very, very good quality. I still, even though I have a 4K camera, I don't shoot in 4K. Mostly because it makes the video a lot bigger, and it takes a lot more time to render and a lot more time to upload on YouTube. So I just render in 1080p, and I'm on my way. So you don't really need a 4K video unless, you know, you're doing stuff that requires you to have 4K footage. I just don't think that it's necessary for me personally. However, I do strongly recommend this camera. It is a really nice camera. It does everything that you need it to do. You know, it's got the audio, got the video, got the good photos, got time-lapse in here, slow-mo, you name it, it's pretty much got it. There are dials, there are switches for aperture and whatever else manual you want to do. I would say it's a pretty stellar camera for what you get, and the price as well. $430 with interchangeable lenses, like, it's, you know, I would say there's no other better deal. But this is my old and trusty reliable camera. The cameras these days are getting more and more expensive, so I would just say, you know, stick to a really good brand, which is Canon. It lasts forever. And I also would say that even the older models of the cameras are pretty good cameras. That's kind of the same thing I did with Sony. I got an older model because it has everything that I need, and I couldn't beat the price. You know, for like $1,000 cheaper, why not, right? I'm balling on a budget at this point. You know, so a Canon Sl2 is not a bad camera to get in the current ages of 2024, 2025. So 10 out of 10 recommend the Canon. Go for it, do it, I recommend.